Hey guys, Letter Magic here, and finally it's time for the, I think, monthly MTG Arena State of the Game report. These have historically been very well received because it's like, hey, we're listening to you and here's what we're doing about it, which is wonderful. And it's just nothing but fixes, optimistic looks into the future, and cool announcements of cool upcoming stuff. This one though, I skimmed through it and it looks like one giant 12-piece bucket of crazy. So let's dive right into this. First, I want to say that the performance issues, which were like the focus of the November game update, they've been pretty successful. So I think this is automatically collected, not like polled by people. But FPS drops before the November update were 88% of the players experiencing this. And since I was dropping frames down to like 5 FPS and I'm running in 1080 Ti with an overclocked i9 and 32 gigs RAM on one of the fastest SSDs ever made, I think 12% of people just literally don't know what FPS drops are. Now, if this was some kind of automatic like performance tracking that was anonymously collected from all users, what the heck are those people running? I mean, then again, it could be some really obscure, like middle of the road stuff. Like maybe this game runs great at like DX9 only. I don't think it uses DX, but anyway, after the November game update, it dropped from 88% to 25%. And 25% of people are probably running some really ghetto hardware. I'd call that solved. But they have a second classification called hitches. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe like multi-second freeze-ups that wouldn't be considered just FPS drops. That was 40% of the players, and now it's down to 6%. And those 6% need to get a graphics card with higher VRAM and an SSD. So they do say there's still work to be done, particularly for issues impacting memory allocation, because the memory leak problem, they even reported ahead of time, will not be fully addressed, only partially addressed. But I've got 32 gigs of RAM, so who cares? I mean, literally 16 gigs of RAM right now is like $73, and I mean good RAM. But they're saying, yeah, the code refactor seems to be doing exactly what we hoped it would do, and significantly reducing the frequency and severity of FPS drops and unresponsiveness. Actually, let me try to replicate something real quick. Let me bring up my deck list. Oh, that was smooth. Damn. That used to basically freeze because they'd try to animate the twist of the deck list like all at once. And actually, I think they changed the way decks are displayed to remove like, I thought there was single cards behind them and now there's not. So they just reduced the number of layers by a factor of about, 75%? Yes, I know, percentage isn't a factor. Get over it. So they say we hope most players have begun to see improvements, and the December game update will bring a few additional changes targeted towards memory allocation. Well, I've been running the game for a while now. Let me see how much RAM it's taken. Let's see. 1.4 gigs, and I've been running it for an hour and a half. So if you're worried about 1.4 gigs, damn, bro. I mean, that would legit run on 4 gigs. Like, come on. By the way, they've addressed the whole memory leak thing in previous posts and kind of like very subtly thrown, I think it's Unity that they wrote this in. That's the game engine. They like threw them under the bus saying, you know, yeah, it's some Unity thing. Like obviously we didn't design it wrong. It's just the engine isn't doing what we thought it would do or what we're telling it to do, which is why I hate encapsulation. That's a programming term that means, well, their code, you tell it what to do and it gives back responses and you just trust that it does what it does and you don't need to know the inner workings of it. Yeah, that works great until the game like runs away with 6 gigs of RAM for an unknown reason, even though you're giving it like perfectly legitimate commands the way you learned extensively in college. And like exactly in line with the documentation that came with the engine and it's still doing weird crap. I'll just say it. Rule number 1 of programming in almost any language is don't trust the garbage collector. And then rule number 2 is, sorry, you have to trust the garbage collector. Because even in fairly low level languages, it's somewhat automated. I bet that didn't make any sense to anyone, but I'm leaving it in. Next up, they say Brawl Days, which is holidays in Brawl put together. Last month, we also talked about balancing the desire for more on-demand play while also ensuring that there are different and exciting experiences every time you play. However, when it came to all the play modes and formats that MTG Arena currently supports, there was one format in particular that has been at the forefront of something that players would like to see more of. Yeah, Brawl, obviously. There's been one event, I think. And honestly, if you can play it in free play, which I think you can, you just queue up a Brawl deck and they put you up against a Brawl person, I still don't care because it's unranked. I'm not going to waste my time with unranked. So they're introducing a Brawl event with a one-time entry fee, but it's available from December 12th through January 16th. So that's like 35-ish days or something. For 10,000 gold or 2,000 gems. That's the entry fee. And you'll receive 1 copy of a card we're adding to Brawl. So that's weird. How could you just add a card to Brawl? Like, The historic format is the only one that you can just arbitrarily add a card to, so yeah. Remember when I said there's a little bit of crazy in here that I saw that was like while skimming through it? This is part of it. So 10,000 coins is actually better measured as 1 metric buttload of coins. I believe that's 2 buttloads in the English measurement. And I believe with the currency conversion to Canadian, it's 1.33 buttloads. Which, by the way, if you don't get that joke from my live stream and from my community posts in Discord, yeah boy, Cinder Shadow, whose son has some serious medical needs and they got medical bills piling up, lives in a really shitty part of Canada where it's like a one industry thing and that industry ain't doing great, so there's no jobs to go around, even though he is the nicest, hardest worker ever. So to help with living expenses and medical bills, he's run a fundraiser, link in the description. And the donations are quite literally in Canadian dollars. So basically, if you were to like donate $100, it'll show up as $100 Canadian. But if you live in the US, you'll only get about $77 on your card. And if you use a Visa instead of a Discover, you'll also get like a $3 currency conversion fee. Thanks for that. But yeah, basically you get like a 33% boost. Compliments of Canadians Prime Minister Trudeau's shitty leadership and his bullshit socialist economic policy. It's like his stupid ass is matching your donations up to 33%, except he's ruining Canada's entire economy instead of literally doing that. Same result though. So go help out Cinder, his family, and especially his adorable son. Link below. And once again, no pressure if you broke. You know, take care of your bills first. You don't want to put yourself in a similar situation. So anyway, they go on to say that this is their first experiment with a long-term event in a pass style like this, so we're already planning to make some iterations based on player feedback and participation in the event. Ultimately, our goal is to do more events like this with Brawl, and potentially other formats in the future. Let's talk about the event structure. No, let's talk about this bullshit pass system. Right now, you can play Brawl for free. Even if in this event you had the opportunity to win exactly 10,000 gold coins back if you do moderately okay, you still need the 10,000 coins to join it. And nobody in the right mind is going to drop 2,000 gems, okay? Everybody's hoarding gems to pay for the damn Mastery Pass. Which, by the way, I think, and I very much could be wrong about this, I think it ends in 19 days. I think it's at the same time as the next season or whatever. Like the constructed rank season and, you know. So even after the rotation, in which I ran completely out of wild cards, I'm now sitting on 29 rares and 23 mythics. So that's not bad, completely playing for free. So I got 4,000 coins and 2,370 gems. So I need more gems for the Mastery Pass upcoming, and I plan to do some drafts that way. But a couple days worth of coins, I could pretty easily save up 10,000. It's just, that's 10 packs I can't open. So it is what it is. I don't think it's outrageous. It's not going to break the bank, but it's annoying and it's a couple days worth of rewards. But then again, you get like a month out of it. But the real question is going to be like, how good is this event? You know, like what do you get? Is it fun? Is it enjoyable? And you got to pay up front and then see if you like it. So I don't like this. I don't like more money sinks in the game, but I know that they're adding them because people are way too easily playing for free and they're hoarding wild cards way too efficiently. And that's why with Historic, they tried to make it so that you have to redeem 2 wild cards to get 1 card, which was bullshit. That was like, you wouldn't believe the level backlash, and then they went back on it like a day later. And then they said screw it and sold the whole set of cards for cash, which is also ridiculous. So if you needed those cards, or if you just were going to play enough Historic that you were pretty sure you needed those cards, you had to drop $20 to basically play Historic. Well, that's a little bit of a generous conclusion jump, but this one, like, you basically have to pay 10,000 gold to play Brawl. I mean, it's like, here's this new thing. Like, you can play multiple formats right now for free, except Draft. But to play Brawl, you gotta pay us. They're paywalling a part of the game, an entire format. That's ridiculous. Now that said, I'm pretty sure you can still play Brawl in like the free-for-all queue or whatever they call it. So like, if you want to play it, play it. So I guess, like I said, it'll just come down to how good are the prizes for this and how enjoyable is like the crazy gameplay, you know? Because like I dropped 10,000 coins to play Plane Chase right now. Like right now today, I would absolutely do it. Plane Chase is so fun, so crazy. I love it. Haven't played it in paper in like 2.5 years. If they added that to Arena without even thinking, I'd say, yes, sign me up. I will play that for 30 days for 10,000 coins. So this could be that good, but as far as I know, it's just Brawl. But like, what makes it a special event, you know? So let's see how many details they give us here. So they say, December 12th to January 16th, entry cost we already know. Event record, none. Play as many games as you like until the event ends. So they don't even track wins. But I think if you get one win, you get the thing they're giving away, the special card, which it looks like is Rise the Redeemed from Shadowmoor. What? Yeah, that card was only printed in Shadowmoor. So is it now part of Brawl? Is it an arena-only thing? Can you play with this in paper at a Brawl event? Can they just arbitrarily now add cards to Brawl by just saying, oh, they're in Brawl now? What is this crap? And by the way, he is so broken in a Selesnya deck. So broken. I'm sure I don't have him up on screen because it's going to be gameplay instead because of the format here. So you drop him in as a 1/1 for 1. He's a legendary creature who could obviously be a commander, elf warrior, so that's already complete aids. And if you pay, and it's hybrid, by the way, hybrid Selesnya colors. So if you pay 3 and tap him, you put a 1/1 green and white elf warrior creature token into play. And if you pay 6 and tap him, for each creature token you control, put a token into play that's a copy of that creature, including quasi-duplicate tokens. So anyway, they describe it as, once you've joined the Brawl Days event, you'll have access to a Brawl queue that will let you play against others all day, every day until the event ends. For everyone else, you'll still have a Brawl queue available, every Wednesday. Oh, okay. I guess I was completely wrong about them letting you play Brawl in free play. I guess that was just during testing. So yeah, right now you can only play Brawl on Wednesdays. Okay. Oh, but direct challenge, total free-for-all. You can direct challenge anybody any day of the week, any of your friends with Brawl. So, okay, whatever. They say, but the event structure isn't the only thing we're experimenting with. For our commander aficionados out there, this is probably a familiar face. Yeah, it's Rise the Redeemed, which is exactly why we're adding Rise the Redeemed to MTG Arena for play in both Brawl and Historic. Okay, so they said Historic anthologies were going to be added 16 at a time at exact time intervals. I guess they were lying about that too. In Brawl, you'll be able to use him as your commander or slot him into any deck that shares the appropriate color identity. We know this deviates from Tabletop Brawl, which will remain standard only. Oh, okay, there you go, answers that. But just as we are with Historic, we're working closely with R&D to find ways that we can expand MTG Arena's card pool to bring more fun and exciting experiences to our game. I think that's dangerous and stupid and annoying. Just keep your hands off it. Don't try to micromanage it, and don't try to excite people with new cards that might become horribly overpowered. That's historically not a good idea. That hasn't worked very well. Let's put it that way. Throwing in Scapeshift as a bullshit reprint to turn the last core set into glorified master set and just drive up the value, and then people actually played it. That was a mistake. So yeah, after you get one win, you get Rise the Redeemed for free. Cool. You only get one copy because you only need one copy. And this is actually kind of cool because remember, these people are quite generous in the way they operate the game most of the time. If you don't sign up for this event, you can still unlock them with a wild card. Just one wild card, boom, there you go. And then you can add him to your deck even if you have no interest in this event. Oh, or if you need him for Historic and don't play Brawl at all. So next up, they basically just copied and pasted the Historic ban announcement. Oh, suspension announcement, whatever, ban announcement. So that's a thing. Then they say Historic events in addition to our Historic traditional ranked queue that is currently active. Oh, so Historic, I guess, is the one where you could just go and do a queue at any time, on any day. We're also looking to provide more ways for you to enjoy Historic as a format in the upcoming weeks. Historic Artisan, yes, December 20th through 30th. Artisan is the greatest thing ever. It's Pauper, except plus uncommons, which when you shorten the pool to just standard instead of, every card ever printed in the history of the game, you need more than just the commons. So Artisan is the greatest thing ever because it's basically Pauper except actually good. And there's just simply more deck building options once you add the uncommons. So yeah, I love it. So they're bringing the Artisan format to Historic next week. Enter for 2,500 gold or 500 gems. How many coins do they really think I have? My gosh. And play as much as you want. Your first 5 wins will net you 5 unique card styles. So you get Militia Bugler, Curious Obsession, Cast Down, Gutter Snipe, and Wild Growth Walker. All of which I believe have rotated out. Maybe not Bugler. Oh no, he rotated out too. So yeah, it's card styles for cards that aren't legal and standard anymore. So if you don't care about Historic, then you also really don't have to care about this event or any of its rewards, which actually works out nicely. Then another upcoming event, January 3rd through January 16th, will be a Dominaria ranked draft. which, okay, cool. A lot of people draft to get cards that they can actually play with, but I guess this will be something different. I don't remember if Dominaria was like absolutely ass quality terrible at draft, or if it was like that one that was one of the best drafts ever. It's one or the other. It's not in the middle. I just don't remember which. But yeah, it'll be, typical 5,000 coins or 750 gems to join, 3 losses and you're out, 7 wins and you win. And if it's anything like the Throne of Eldraine one, if you know what you're doing, you will absolutely dominate. Cinder went 7 wins. I went 7 wins twice back to back. I went from being one of the worst clueless drafters ever, like a year ago, to being like really good at drafts. So thanks, Arena. By the way, is this a good time to like rewind the clock a little bit and mention that in the whole article and in the screenshot they provided, there is absolutely no reference to any rewards at all for the Brawl Days event? Like, I'm sure there are some past just getting Rise the Redeemed, which you could literally just redeem with 1 wild card, but all they say on the screenshot is Oko is banned and Sorcerer Spyglass is banned from the Brawl format, which is actually kind of funny. Oh, are they going to hear about it if all they're selling is access outside of Wednesday to the Brawl format and you get nothing for your coins? That would really be not a good idea. But remember, they also don't track wins and don't have the little timeline thingy of prizes, so this don't look so good. However, January 11th through the 13th, they'll be introducing the Historic Challenge, a constructed best of 3 event with a high entry fee and prizes to match. I believe that will be, let's see, they show the prizes. Oh, it's 10,000 gold again. So you just never want me to open a pack ever again is what you're saying. Or 2,000 gems, by the way. And players can play until 8 wins or 3 losses. Wow, are people going to be pissed if they drop 10,000 on this and just go 0-3? But this event is absolutely batshit crazy because 0 wins, so if you just skunk out, you get 4 historic individual card rewards, or ICRs, and the Treasure Hunt card sleeve, which that'll be kind of cool. I mean, sleeves can be upwards of a couple hundred gems for sure, up to like probably over 1,000, so whatever, still not quite up to the entry fee, but if you get 1 win, which I mean, honestly, the average person should go 3-3 because that's an average like number of wins and losses. Considering they allow people to go 2-7 wins, it shouldn't quite work out that way, but like you should get at least 2. I mean, come on. But if you get 1 win, you get 1,000 gold back and then 4 ICRs in the sleeves. You get 4 ICRs no matter what in the sleeves. So 2 wins, you get 2,000 gold. And then 3 wins, you get 3,000 gold. 4 wins, you get 4,000 gold, which honestly, that's not scaling very well. It's pretty hard to get 4 wins unless you're like actually good at it. Now 5 wins, you get 6,000 gold and 8 historic boosters. Not individual card rewards, entire boosters. So I believe a historic booster is kind of like that stupid new product thing they're doing with the 1,700 cards in it, except it's like all the historic cards. You also get a free copy of the card Treasure Hunt and Gaia's Cradle card sleeves. Ooh. And then if you get 6 wins, you get 12 entire boosters, the Treasure Hunt and the Gaia's Cradle card sleeves. Let's just say the ending there applies to all of them. 7 wins, 10,000 gold, so your entry fee back, and 20 historic boosters. That is almost a booster box full. And then 8 wins, which I think I said 7 before, it's 8. 8 wins, you get 15,000 gold, and 40 historic boosters. Okay, I'm gonna get this. The problem is I'd have to practice because there's no way I'm entering this twice. Like, there's no way I can afford that. So I have to do it on the first shot. So I have to know a little bit more about what people are playing in the meta and crap. So I either have to research it outside of Arena or I gotta find a way to play historic. Like, I think there's an open queue. I don't know. They make this stuff kind of confusing, honestly. Okay, I just went over to Arena right now and grabbed a historic deck and joined free play and it let me do it. So I assume you can play historic right now. Cool. But it's not ranked, so who knows how good the people you are that you're going up against and if what they're playing is accurate to the meta. But I will definitely be doing this. So, I mean, I kind of like the whole, like, high entry, high reward risk thing, but then again, I don't like high entry fees in general. So I don't really know what to think of this. It's exciting. The fact that if you get 5 wins, you get 8 entire boosters to open up. But the funny thing is, I mean, hello, if you've been playing Arena since the beta, Not only do you own a ton of cards from before the cutoff to historic, but you own a ton of cards that are included in historic from the beginning of it. So if I got 40 historic boosters, what's there left to open? I own almost every damn card in those sets. I got them by opening boosters when they were in standard. Imagine that. But whatever, dude. If I win the 40 historic boosters, that will be a hell of a lot of, vault progress and free gems and stuff. So next up, they mentioned deck sorting. As we continue to expand on the variety of events and formats that MTG Arena is looking to support, we're aware that it has become quite daunting to keep track of which deck is your new deck versus the new deck that is your Brawl new deck. I love how they phrase that, because even though it's like confusing, I'm like, that. Yes, that is exactly what is going on. They either got to color code it or add tabs. It's that simple. Right now, they're looking at like a view filter. Just put tabs. Just make it tabs. My gosh. So they're basically hinting at the fact that they don't want people to have to like put prefixes on their deck. They want to actually do it for you. I'd recommend doing it anyway. Like historic, just put HST : or something before them, and then they'll stand way out. But no, they claim they've got your back on this, so they're gonna do something to make it more visible. I don't know, the screenshots don't look that good to me, honestly. It still looks tedious and confusing. I would just simply do tabs. Do all standard, historic, brawl, like other. So a bunch of these changes and more will be rolling out on December 12th, which is tomorrow at approximately 8 a.m. Pacific time. So, boy, that's like 12 hours or so from now. Jeez. So obviously the game will be down for a while then. So I'm looking forward to all this. I mean, the events are kind of the star of this one. I really don't like that they're just arbitrarily adding Rise of the Redeemed to Brawl, and now Brawl has been fractured. It's now different than it is in paper. So now if you want to build a deck around him on Arena and say, this is my Brawl deck, you can't replicate it in paper, even though they're both called Brawl. That is an incredibly bad idea. They said they don't want fragmentation, they don't want fracturing of the formats. And then here they are. And also, they're just throwing it into historic, trying to micromanage it. I'm sure they were like, what would be nicer in historic? Well, let's get Selesnya up a little bit. That would be a fun little addition. There's no Selesnya representation, so we need to jack that up. Here, throw in this card. All they need is one little whoopsies, we made that too powerful. Boom, it dominates. And then everybody, redeemed a wild card for it. And you got to turn around and ban it a month later. I mean, it's so dangerous, so stupid. And they need to remove cards, not add cards. So adding cards, let's not fool ourselves, is their version of banning cards, just going the other way with it, where they're like, well, these 5 decks seem to be a little too powerful. Let's try to make more competitors for them. And you might think, well, but that sounds perfectly fair and the least impactful. Except for the entire product called Modern Horizons, which was that, trying to micromanage Modern and Commander, and they completely screwed it up and had to ban a ton of cards from it. Wizards cannot be trusted to make important decisions like that are predictive, that are like, maybe this will tweak the power level. Oh, whoops. Like, that's what happens every time. Every time. We're talking about the absolute knuckle-dragging ape morons who decided to print Hogak and were like, yes, that's totally not a mechanic that's like a 9 on the storm scale. People love Dredge. That's totally not a toxic mechanic ruining every format that it's in. It's not like we literally just banned another Dredge card recently. And the funny thing is, yes, the card was in more than just Dredge. Okay, there, I said it. Now you can stop saying it in the comment section. Well, I'll just generalize it as graveyard mechanic bullshit. There. It ruined graveyard mechanic bullshit decks. It made them too powerful, too annoying, too good, too consistent, and then they had to turn around and ban them after pretending like a different card was the problem, because that works so well with Aetherworks Marvel. So if they're going to screw up on that level the same way, like in a row without learning from their mistakes, just taking cards like Rise of the Redeemed and tossing them into Historic and Brawl, they really think that's a good idea and that's going to work? Because it's not, and they shouldn't. Not to mention, to reiterate, the fragmentation problem. Where Brawl in paper is not Brawl in digital. But they're called the same thing and they're so close you might get confused. I hate everything about that, and they need to cut this shit off immediately. And the other thing that I really don't like is that this whole Brawl Days event, I have seen no reference to rewards whatsoever. That you get nothing. All you get is to play Brawl whenever you want. Wow, what a privilege. For 10,000 freaking coins, or close to like $20. Wow. I was just thinking, I wish Magic was just pay to play. I wish my LGS made me drop $20 just to sit down and play the game at all. Oh, that is such bullshit. So they better be giving out something for this Brawl Days event, but it doesn't appear to be based on anything other than getting one win. They don't even track wins. So to me, it looks like some bullshit non-event. It's really just a freaking paywall. What the hell were they thinking? But then again, very adept common players who play every day, got the Mastery Pass, didn't pay a damn penny for it, and were free playing, very proficient, tournament winning, draft winning people who never give the game a penny, and we're also among the best players. That's a bad combination, because we should be willing to spend more, because we play more and we're more into it and we're better at it. So if they're not getting any money from us, they're making, this thing that costs $10,000, and this thing that costs $5,000, and this thing that costs $750, and this thing that costs $2,000, and this other thing that costs $10,000 more. It's like they're adding money sinks to the game, and they know it. It's transparent as day that that's what they're doing, trying to make it so that it's less and less and less possible to play the game for free. Well, how did that work out for Hearthstone? Making the expansions more and more powerful, power creep while doing nothing to ban them, and then increasing the speed of bringing out new things that you had to pay for. How did that work out? I mean, after the whole Let's All Hate Blizzard fiasco, even before that, people were leaving Hearthstone. I heard, theoretically, because nobody has these numbers, half the players have left over the bullshit state of the game in the last year. So if they do that to Arena, not a good idea. But pretty much everything else on this list I'm pretty excited about, I guess. It's nice to have a super high risk, high reward, interesting tournament instead of just the same old, I pay 500 coins, I got some styles, snooze. It's nice to bet a little higher, as it were, once in a while, but if this becomes the norm, people just aren't going to have enough money, and I think that's the point. I think they're trying to get people to buy gems. Either that or they're trying to keep standard to be as close to free as possible, and then you just get the plus editions, where if you get a little bit, fatigued of standard and you want to move on to Brawl or Historic, there's a thing going on, there's an event going, there's a tournament going on, but you gotta have a little bit more money. You might have to actually toss some money at the game to play these little side formats. I mean, that's kind of what Paper is right now, if you consider Commander and Modern, which are, historically more expensive than Standard as a whole in general. And it does work. I mean, it's not a terrible business model. Nobody's forcing you to play Brawl or Historic, and those are the ones that in this update look expensive. So it's kind of forgivable, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. It looks like we're going real slippery slope with this one, so we'll have to see what this looks like by February. So let me know your thoughts on all these updates. What are you excited about? What are you not? Are you concerned about the same things I am? Or is there some things I didn't bring up that you're concerned about? Let me know down in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave a big ol' like on this video if you liked my analysis of it. Or if you didn't, then too bad. Thanks for watching anyway, and I'll see you guys next video.